Dr. Ron Harris joins us now, founder of MediAlliance, broadcast professional, and now author of the book, The Voice Behind You, Memoirs of an Ordinary Life Led by an Extraordinary God. Ron, it's so great to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Sharon. I look forward to being here, partly just for you and I to visit a little bit because we've known each other for many years, and also to be able to share a little bit about what God has done and is doing through this book. And it's just so much fun.
Well, KCBI listeners should be especially interested in this book because this ministry plays a role, I think, in your story.
Oh, absolutely. There's a whole segment in there about the time that God allowed me to be with KCBI, the great blessings that went on, some of the fun stories that went on, and we've had some great things that took place with KCBI. And it continues that. That's what's exciting. I was coming in for this interview, and I heard Laura Story's song about blessings, and I thought, you know what? That is such an epitome of what KCBI does. It illuminates how God works in people's lives so that people will want to come to know Him. And if they already know Him, then be encouraged by that as well.
Can you tell that he at one point was the general manager, CEO of KCBI and my boss for a while? So it's really fun to reconnect in this way, Ron. Why do you call the book The Voice Behind You?
Well, Sharon, people for years have always said, oh, your voice, that's so wonderful. And I quickly tell them, you cannot buy a voice, not even on Amazon. So it's obviously a gift from God. And all I know to do is use it for His purpose. But I came across a verse in Isaiah. It's one that most people will have read. It's Isaiah 30:21, and it says, you'll hear, this is my translation of it, you'll hear a voice behind you. And it's God's voice. And it's saying, turn left, turn right, this is the way, walk in it. And I thought, what a great illustration of what God has done in my life, that as long as I'm listening, I can hear Him direct my life, left, right, but God can direct a person's path to some extraordinary things. That's why the subtitle there is about an extraordinary God in a rather ordinary life. I've ended up talking to heads of state of different countries, even George W. Bush in the White House. Why? Because I orchestrated that? No, because God led me to do this or to do that. And as I follow, He has amazing, extraordinary things for our lives.
Oh, that's amazing. Tell us another key time when you heard that voice behind you and God turned you in a direction that maybe you weren't expecting.
Yeah, one of them was coming to KCBI. They said, hey, we'd like for you to come visit a little bit. And it was to do the morning program. And it led into that about 15 years of amazing blessings that where God directed through that. In fact, what I hope people, when they read through that, they realize not only does God guide somebody like me, He wants to guide everybody. We know from Jeremiah 29:11, God has a plan for us. It's a plan for our good, not to harm us, for our benefit and for His purpose. So we know that if we believe God's word. Then this verse from Isaiah says, there'll be a voice behind you directing your life. In other words, you not only have a plan, you're not left to your own. God will guide you through that plan for His purpose, for His good, and for your good as well. So that's what I experienced. But then it realized, number one, you have to listen for God's voice. And number two, you have to do it. You have to follow. You have to be willing to step out. Sometimes when friends, family, or others say, that doesn't seem quite right, and you say, no, this is what God's saying in my heart. And so those were just amazing, astounding times. Beginning the MediAlliance ministry was another one of those where I just sensed God saying, this is a time to step out. And God has blessed it over these past almost 10 years now to where we're working with media leaders in over 40 countries and holding media training conferences. And now, as of the first of the year, we have launched 3 global offices for MediAlliance, one for Asia, one for Europe, and one in Brazil. And I could never do that on my own. I'm thankful for God's voice.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, this book is one that I can't wait to dive into, The Voice Behind You by Ron Harris. And where can people buy a copy of this book?
You can get it on Amazon, amazon.com. Just look for the name, The Voice Behind You. it is a blessing. And I hope people will get it, not just to read about me, but to read about that extraordinary God.
Well, Ron, it's delightful to catch up with you. And I urge people to pick up this book, The Voice Behind You. You'll enjoy it and learn a lot about an amazing God who has worked through an amazing man to accomplish incredible things. So thank you so much, Ron, for
Thanks,
being with
Sharon.
us.